used to think that being a mother actually was a detriment to work. And although children do take up a lot of time and energy and resources, at the end of the day, it's all a learning experience, and being a mom makes me a better leader. Leadership is a learning process. In the past, I had worked with several call centers and helping train employees, and I was certainly a leader from a very young age. Although I've always been I believe, a natural born leader, and leadership has come naturally to me, I feel most comfortable in those positions. Being a mother has made me even a better leader. Understanding the psychology of people in a better way has made me more empathetic. Looking back on Melissa in her 20s, I thought that children were always a detriment and would weigh me down, and I couldn't be successful with children, and I couldn't dedicate as much time as I wanted to my job. And although some of that might be true, and that I don't particularly have 20 hours a day to dedicate to my craft anymore or currently, I have learned to be more efficient. I've learned to leverage other people's time and my team's time. I've had to do that. It's forced me to do that. I naturally want to take on all the things. I want to do everything. I believe that I do things very well and can be a bit of a control freak and want to do it all soup to nuts. And because of children, I don't have the time to do it all. And because of growth, I don't have time to do it all. You get to a point where you have too many clients to do it all. You don't have enough time. There's not enough time during the day. And although I've worked on being as efficient as possible with my own personal time, you get to the point where you have to leverage not just your own time and be efficient with your own time and systems, and learn about AI and learn about automation and do all of those sexy, juicy, systems-based things. I have also had to learn how to use other people and use the skills of other people and find skills in other people. And I don't think I would have done that as quickly if I had not had become a mother. From the moment that I had found out I was pregnant with my first child, I looked into the future even farther than I had ever looked before and thought, shit, how am I going to keep my pipeline going? How am I going to keep sales going? I've always worked off of commissions. I've always been in sales, and when you're in sales, you live off of commission. And when you have to be out for maternity leave, that certainly gets dried up. Your pipeline is something that you always have to nurture and grow and touch and check in on and move everyone through the sales process in a systematic way and in a nurturing way. And when you go out on maternity leave, that dries up, that slows down. So as a working professional and a saleswoman who's always been in sales and earned off of commission, it forced me to really look at that in a longer term kind of a way. And 9 months, right? So find out I'm pregnant. No, I'm going to have a kid in 9 months. Having that whole time to think and plan about how to keep things moving, how to automate emails, how to delegate and hand off while I'm unable to work or when I don't have the time to do it all. And each time that I've had a child, I have gotten more efficient. I've gotten better at delegating. And part of delegating is always communication. So if somebody doesn't know, if you take the time and hire someone that is right for the job, which, might I add, when hiring somebody for a position, it is an immense amount of work. I don't know that a lot of people understand how hard HR people work to find the very best people for a position. And in order to do so, going through, if you do a good job at that, part of doing a good job at hiring someone is setting up the right ad, step one, then reviewing all of the applications and resumes that come in, being able to decipher those, and interviewing people and coming up with a hiring process that eliminates people that will not fit the position, and really getting good at eliminating people off of that list and being as objective as possible, and being aware, being self-aware enough to know what your biases are, your personal biases are. We tend to want to pick people that are like us. It's a subconscious, at first it starts out as a subconscious thing, and then over time, as you get better at it, you start to notice, oh, I'm favoring this or I'm favoring that, or this type of person or that type of person. For example, I always do disc profiles with people that I am hiring because I know I tend to hire people that match my disc profile. Which is not what you want. You want to hire somebody that's opposite of you, or maybe if you're hiring to replace, you want to hire someone that fits the personality and the profile of the strengths of the person that you want for that position is probably going to be a little bit different than you. If you need somebody to help you, you need somebody to fill in your gaps. You need somebody to fill in what you suck at. And I tend to want to hire people that are like me. So running a disc profile is something that helps me hold myself accountable and see, am I favoring this person because they're like me, or am I favoring this person because they're right for the job? And being honest with myself and being as unbiased as possible. Being a mom has forced me to go through that process and look ahead so that I can delegate at a future time when I'm unable and unavailable. And part of that has to do with improving communication. So you go through this process, you hire the right person, you could have the dream person in a position, but if you suck at communicating the position and suck at communicating your expectations and suck at communicating and training that person in a way that resonates with them and that they can understand, everybody learns differently, not giving them the resources they need to work independently, not being available for questions as quickly as possible. What you don't want is someone in a position where they are working, they get stuck, and they're afraid to ask you what to do next, or not have a way to find the information themselves. Some people are self-starters and want to look for the information on their own. Other people are a little bit more interpersonal and want to review that with a person. So it doesn't have to be you, but it has to be someone, and it has to be a resource that perhaps they have the ability to reach out to directly. So for example, you might train someone in a system, and that system probably has support. They probably have a 1-800 number or a support email, training videos. They have resources. So if that trainee has a question, you can, as the trainer, direct them to any of those resources. And if this person is someone that needs their hand held through the process, you need to create a training video, do it with them one-on-one or over a Zoom call, and then show them how to use that 1-800 number and call, and that 1-800 number is a resource for your organization for these kinds of questions, and that resource can walk them through that training again if they need it again. So having all of those communications available, and also having the softness to be approachable. That is another area that I've had to work on, and that being a mom has helped me soften quite a bit. Um, you know, children are a blank slate, much like a new hire. It's a blank slate. They don't know what to do. They don't know you. They don't know the world. They don't know your company. So it is unfair of me to expect my child to be able to tie their shoe unless I sit there and work with them and show them and help them practice day after day after day after day. And having that perspective has given me softness when I have a new hire come on and they know none of my systems. I can't expect them to know my company. I can't expect them to know exactly how I want them to do something. I have to show them exactly how I want it done, when I want it done, what's the sense of urgency, and then give them the resource to be able to practice. Either I have to be there to help them practice, or I have to give them a resource to be able to practice that skill over and over and over again. It took a lot of reps for me to learn how to do it. It's going to take a lot of reps for the new hire to learn how to do it. It's going to take a lot of reps for my daughter to learn how to tie her shoe. And I can just see my past self being mad at me for talking about this in this way. I am not saying that you can't learn how to be a better leader without having kids, or that you have to have kids to be this way. I am just saying how being a mom has completely enriched my life and completely enriched my experience and my perspective and my empathy, and made me a better leader. It's made me a better person, and I've learned so much in short amount of times in certain seasons of my life because I am a mom. And I don't know that I am the sort of person that would have learned those things without being a mom. I am sure there are people that are out there that could have learned or do learn these things without being a mother, but for me, that's what it took to get to who I am and how I am today, and I am completely grateful for it. Although I never thought I would become a mother, it wasn't something that I sought out. It wasn't something that at one point I thought that I was going to be childless for the rest of my life, and I was completely happy with that. And I've had 2 surprise babies and was scared shitless to go through especially with the first one and even with the second one, that it was going to ruin my life in some way, that I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do, wasn't going to be able to run my business, wasn't going to be able to do this, all that self-talk. And now looking back, it is just completely enriching and has made me a better leader. So definitely wanted to put that out there on how my perspective has changed. And it's absolutely amazing to think about who I was and where I came from and what my perceptions were of working mothers and how much that has changed. I used to think that it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm being honest. I used to think that working mothers were not as hardworking as people that didn't have kids. I thought that working moms wouldn't be able to get as much done as someone who didn't have kids. I had all of these assumptions about what it would be like to be a working mom, and now that I am a working mom, I appreciate other working mothers so much more, and appreciate myself, and appreciate all the growth that it's brought me, and the transformation that I've been through. And I want to put that out there because I don't know that there's enough content on this. I think that a lot of females judge themselves very, very harshly and don't always look at the positive side of being a mother and how much it can enrich your life and how much you can learn from it in a short amount of time, and what skills you are learning while being a mother, and how valuable that can be in the marketplace, and how valuable that can be to an employer, and how valuable that can be to the world. So I just wanted to really talk about this and talk about how much my perspective has changed, because it just absolutely blows my mind. So if it blows your mind, I would love to hear about it. If you've had some sort of revelation or complete mind shift in any way, even if it's not in this area, but especially if it is in this area, I really want to hear your story and hear what you have to say. So please let me know. You can reach out to me directly on one of my social medias. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all of the medias. Or you can email me. I'm sure my email is around here somewhere on this channel, and would love to hear it. So thanks for hanging out until the end, and we'll see you next time.